Okay, welcome back to another Between the Pages book chat. And today our guest is Raymond Klein, and we're here to talk about his book, The Interstellar Police Force, Book One, The Historic Mission.
Yep.
So I'm going to turn it over to him and let him introduce himself.
All right, I'm Raymond Klein. I'm a first-time author, and this is my novel, The Interstellar Police Force, Book One, Historic Mission, which is considered a light science fiction, meaning that it's not like a Star Wars or anything like that, but it is a science fiction action comedy about two police officers trying to recapture escaped prisoners, and they have escaped to Earth. So that's where it begins.
Okay, so I did read the blurb, and I noticed that one of the alien police officers gets stuck in the body of a dog.
Yes, because they're alien in form, they have to replicate themselves to appear human so they can come to Earth and look for the prisoners. So the commander's transformation succeeds. He becomes a regular human male, but there's a computer glitch and his partner's transformed into a Doberman Pinscher.
So that must make some interesting dynamics with the characters.
Yes, especially since he's not happy being a Doberman Pinscher.
It must make communication a bit difficult too.
Well, he can talk.
Oh, he's a talking dog.
He's a talking dog. Who wouldn't want a talking dog, right?
Yeah, that sounds like fun. Okay, so tell us a little bit about the characters. What are they like?
Well, the Doberman, top of his class, so he's very upset that he has to do this COVID mission as a dog. The commander is they're kind of like a fish out of water. They have limited information on the human race that only goes up to the 1950s. So his slang is wrong. Their space cruiser is also transformed into a regular car, but it's accidentally transformed into a 1959 Ford Thunderbird. So when they find that out, they freak out a little bit, thinking that they're driving a car that hasn't been seen on the roads for 40 to 50 years. So that just adds to their anxiety about getting their COVID mission done.
Yeah, well, unbeknownst to them, they got a classic car.
Yes, they do find out later that it's common to see them still on the roads. So that makes life for them a little easier.
Yeah.
But they just try to blend in so well, but all they do is stick out like a sore thumb.
I can imagine. So tell us a little bit about the antagonists. I'm assuming they're hunting a criminal.
Yes, Prodor Moffat. He is a brilliant doctor, scientist, and serial killer. And it was his plan to escape to Earth. They were being Prodor and a couple other prisoners were being transferred to another penitentiary on a neighboring planet. And during the transfer flight, that's when he takes over the ship and flies it to Earth with the other prisoners. And they find a nice little town in America to hang out, and that's where the IPF agents wind up and start searching for them.
Okay, so what was the hardest scene or type of scene for you to write in the book?
The hardest?
Mm-hmm.
Probably just everybody's backstories. I wanted to make sure the timing was right, So yeah, backstories were tough to get organized and set in place so it sounded correct with the timing of the book.
Okay, so what was your favorite scene or type of scene to write?
My favorite one was when the two agents are walking through town and they see a crime happen, and the Doberman, whose name is Genghis Khan, um, instinctively goes after the purse snatcher, and he doesn't realize he can run so fast. And that was a fun scene to write, because they were bumbling their way through, trying to catch this guy. So, and they do. So, just a minor little scene in the book.
Oh, that sounds like a fun scene.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Do you have a favorite character?
It would be the Dobie. He's very intelligent and very upset that he's in the form of dog. He doesn't like it, and so he grumbles a lot until he eventually gets used to it. So Genghis was fun to write.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about secondary characters. What are they like?
Secondary characters. They meet a young Earth girl named Jennifer Winkles, and she goes by the nickname of Twinkie. And they help her out in a situation, and they become very good friends. And then she accidentally finds out who they really are, and actually starts helping them out to look for the other prisoners.
Cool.
She's got street smarts, so it helps them out a little bit.
Which character in the book would you like to hang out with in real life?
All three of them. The commander's name is Jeff Trent, and the reason why they get these names is because they only have very limited information on the human race. That only goes up to the 1950s. And in fact, the only file they have on the human race is a file of all the worst cinematic productions. So Jeff Trent's name comes from the movie Reefer Madness. And Genghis comes from the very bad John Wayne movie, The Conqueror, as he portrayed Genghis Khan. So hanging out with Jeff, Genghis, and Twinkie at a coffee bar would be great.
Okay. What were your reasons and inspirations for writing the book? It sounds like you had a little bit of 50s influence and maybe some old sci-fi shows.
Well, I'm a big fan of like the Twilight Zone and, the old Outer Limits and stuff like that. So that helped. And I do have a 59 Ford Thunderbird sitting in my garage, and it has been for the past 16 years. So, and it doesn't run. So that was kind of an inspiration. The car just fit in. And the inspiration for the book actually came to me in a song on the radio as I was driving home. So it just kind of snowballed from there.
Okay, so what are some of the flaws in your characters?
Well, they are not up with the current slang of the of the Earth in 2020. This was written a year ago, so we'll say 2020. Yeah, they dress. Trent dresses in 50s style. He uses slang that he thinks is modern, and it's actually 50s slang. Like he tells somebody to get in their car and go, so he just says gravitate the asphalt, which he doesn't understand at the time. But so it's little 50s slangs like that he uses. Which again makes them stand out like a sore thumb.
Okay, so what are your characters afraid of?
Getting caught as aliens on this mission. Is supposed to be purely secretive. They landed without letting the human race know that there were others out there in the cosmos. So their big fear is doing something that gets them noticed as not being human.
Okay, so as aliens, what do they like about the human world?
Coffee. They enjoy coffee. They discover coffee, and that's pretty much all they drink.
Okay, so what don't they like about the human world?
Oh, that's a good one. I think they wind up enjoying Earth. They like they like the cuisine, which consists of pizza and hot dogs. They enjoy coffee, so I think there's nothing really they don't like about Earth.
Okay, so do you describe any of their homeworld in the book? I mean, do we get to know a little bit about the aliens?
Very little. I wanted to mostly concentrate on them on Earth. Like I said, the fish out of water kind of a scenario. But I do, it does start on their home planet at the beginning of the escape when Prodor and the other prisoners are going into the transfer ship. Prodor knows what's going to happen, but nobody else seems to know as the guards watch the ship flies off into space. So just very little background on their home planets.
Okay, so I just a minute, I lost my train of thought here.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, it's gone. Whatever I was going to say is gone.
That's okay. You'll remember it about 3 a.m. You can give me a call.
Probably. Oh, I remember now. I was going to say the book sounds a little bit humorous. So would you consider it have a heavy vein of humor, or is there some dark bits in it as well?
There is violence in it. There is dark parts in it. I like the idea of having a drama with comical undertones. So that's where it's a drama with humorous little tidbits that go along with them trying to blend in and things of that nature. But it does have a violent twist because Prodor is a serial killer, and he enjoys leaving bodies around the town. So until he gets caught, which he likes to send messages to the police and the TV stations saying pretty much you can't catch me. Kind of like a Jack the Ripper back in the London days, the early London days. He always used to send letters to the newspapers and stuff.
Yeah, I believe a few other more modern day killers did it as well.
Yeah, well, the Unabomber did it too.
Yeah. It seems to be a lot of serial killers have a bit of a narcissistic streak in them.
Yeah, exactly.
So you, of course, write sci-fi, but are there any other genres that you've written in, or would you like to try?
Actually, this is my first attempt. About 2006, I was trying to take an old Twilight Zone episode and turn it into a movie script for like an indie film that I wanted to produce, and it turned out to be a small novel. So I had no idea about copyright laws, so I put that aside. And then about a month later, this idea came to me, and it just, happened to be sci-fi. But I wouldn't mind trying out other genres,
Yes.
if the ideas come to me.
So this book has the title Book One. So I'm assuming you're writing a series with this.
3. So, it'll be 3 books.
So can you give us a little teaser of what's to come?
Yeah. Book 2, the Interstellar Police Force, Book 2, The Beauty of Violence. I am about 98% finished with that, but we introduce more characters. I introduce more characters in the town they live in, more shop owners. There's a couple more bad guys that show up, and Prodor ups his game and leaves more people on the streets. The local homicide department of the police force in town get involved also, and the lead homicide detective in book 1 sees Jeff and Genghis a lot at crime scenes, so he starts to wonder about them and why they're involved. So that kind of snowballs a little bit for the IPF agents. But in book 2, they kind of collaborate together, the local PD and Jeff and Genghis. Of course, Genghis has to remain a normal dog, so he's not like he's chatting with everybody in the neighborhood. But yeah, we get more people are introduced, a little bit more crime, and a little bit more violence.
Okay, that sounds something to look forward to.
Yeah, the humor is still there too.
Yeah, so we'll wrap it up here, I think, and I'll let you tell everyone where they can find you and your books.
Well, right now I am on Amazon, Amazon Print on Demand, and Kindle. Kindle's Amazon, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Kindle. You can get them there. I'm on Facebook under Raymond F. Klein, Klein, and I also have it under the Interstellar Police Force. Haven't really got involved into websites yet, but that's going to be down the road.
Okay, sounds great. And I'd like to thank you for being the guest today. It was a pleasure
Thank
chatting
you
with you.
very much. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, and so that's all for this chat, and we'll see you tomorrow.